Hey everybody, welcome back to the Trauma Doula podcast, the place that we can expand and become more of who we truly are. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be talking about dreams, dream interpretation, and I'm going to be sharing some dream messages with y'all. So the thing is, for those of you who know, you know that I am an energy healer. I do energy work. And specifically, I'm grounded in energy therapy for trauma survivors and Reiki for anyone looking to come back online, come to life, and, remember things that maybe they have forgotten. And with that, there is some interesting things that happen. So for instance, I do a lot of dream work myself. And through that dream work that has been going on for years of my life, I have started to receive messages in my dreams for other people. And I've been receiving some of these messages for a while now. And recently I had this chance to go to a kind of like a beginner Reiki event for Spanish speakers. And I had never met most of these people. One of the people, you can check her out on Instagram. It's Sweetwater's Heal. She's one of the people that I initially initiated into Reiki some years ago now. And she's worked with me for a while and now she's doing her own thing. So this was her event. And it was really interesting. She invited me to support her with, just to be there as some support for this event because it was about mother wound and mother healing. And I had a dream message for one of the people at the event that I had never met, didn't know anything about. And, it really made me realize that these things need a place to go. I'm receiving these energies, these messages for people and through my dream space. And whether or not these people ever have contact with me, maybe it just needs to be recorded somewhere. So I said, let me put this on the podcast. And eventually I know that these messages will get to exactly who they're supposed to go to and that people will recognize if there's more and they need to go see someone, whether that's me or someone else. So, all that being said, let's get into this dream message that I had around the mother wound, mother healing, and the trauma that goes along with mothers, and specifically mother-daughter relationships, specifically. So to start with this dream, we're going to talk about what houses and rooms are in your dream life. And if you are a person that has a lot of intense dreams, nightmares, anything at all, you should be keeping a dream journal. And I have done a very bad job of keeping a dream journal, but I still have one with lots of things in it. But every time you have a dream, you should be writing it down, recording it, looking back at it a little bit later because there will be things that come to light over and over again. And there will be themes. Some of you will find out that you're getting messages yourselves in your dream world. Anyhow, let's talk about rooms and houses in your dreams. So rooms in your dreams are different spaces in your emotional life and in your mental life. They can be domains. So one room could be specifically about your career and finances. Another room could be about your relationships. Often the bedroom points to relationship. Specifically, bedrooms tend to point to your relationship with yourself and your romantic partnerships. Your living room in dreams is usually a gathering space, a space where other people are often invited into. It's the place in your home where, if you're somewhat comfortable with people, they might be able to come in there and see that space. But you might not invite every single person into your bedroom, right? Oftentimes in your dreams, your house, any home, is yourself. And you can learn a lot about yourself through the rooms in the house that you quote unquote inhabit. So thoughts, feelings, emotions, relationships, career are all centered around the home and what it feels like, what it looks like. Oftentimes, recognize if you can walk in and out of your house. Do you feel free being with your home? Or do you feel like, you're always in a house and you can't get out? These are all important markings of whether you feel like you're connected to the world, whether you feel like you can do the things that you really want to do. Are you stuck somewhere and you want to get out? Are you inside or are you always outside looking in? These can be important understandings of our internal world. Oftentimes we are so focused on the external. We're focused on what that person is doing, what this job is like, that we never stop long enough to analyze, feel, recognize, and become the conscious and present viewer, watcher of our internal world. And a lot of healing, a lot of growth comes from being able to stop and look within. They always say, look within. The answers you seek are within. These aren't empty platitudes. These are the truth of how we grow and how we change over time. So in your dream world, when you are uncovering and discovering things about yourself, you will start to see new rooms. So recognize and notice when you find new rooms. Are they in construction? Because maybe you're changing things about yourself. Maybe life is changing and it's time to make a room a little bit bigger. Or do the rooms seem to never be the same? When you walk around them, they're always different. It's like a maze. Do you feel afraid in specific rooms? Pay attention to the feelings that you have in certain rooms. Are you afraid of the basement? Are you afraid of the attic? Are there certain types of people in certain rooms? So I'll say, for instance, in this dream where I got this dream message, I was expanding. I was recognizing that there was so much space in this house for me. And I had my bed in this one room where it really didn't make sense when I had these other rooms that were completely finished. But I had to go through this one room that was being redone. It wasn't quite comfortable yet, but it wasn't like I couldn't walk through it. And then I started looking around, noticing things that I really liked. And when I noticed the thing that I was like, oh my goodness, this is great. Here comes my mother walking through the room saying, you can't use that one. Now, for me, and I think this is a message on multiple layers, and this is definitely something that I think we can all relate to, is a mother figure or a parent saying, you can't do that. I don't care how convenient it looks or how happy it makes you. You can't do that. No reason, no rhyme, just because they said it. And it makes you contract in your life. Now, for me, I'm at a point where I was like, it doesn't really make sense why you're saying I can't use that room. I'm gonna use this room. Like, this is expanding for me. You want me to contract back to that space where I was feeling uncomfortable. It was too small. I'm ready to spread out. This is my house. Do you have people coming in your home and telling you what you can and can't do with it? Okay, because this home is your internal world. This home is your mind. And you don't have to let anyone tell you what you can and can't do in your own mind, in your own world, in your own life. You're in control of this. You get to decide. This is your space. And so as we start to embark on these different journeys internally, we're going to come up against blocks. We're going to come up against spaces where we don't know why we didn't see this before, why we didn't do this before, why we didn't do this sooner. You'll start doing something in your life and you'll say, why didn't I do this sooner? I like this. This is enjoyable. I'm having fun. I'm making money, whatever it is. And then you'll hit the wall of your capacity to feel expansion, to feel joy, because as you're growing, there is a natural breath happening. Every breath is an expansion and a contraction, an expansion and a contraction. But with life, the expansion and contraction, you can keep expanding more and more and more as long as it's when you're within your capacity to feel that feeling. So when you are feeling deep and profound sorrow and anguish, recognize that is a contraction, a constriction, and you will expand into a deeper, fuller, and more outwardly expressing expansion of joy. And as you start to expand, again, you expand to the limit of joy. And then you contract to the depths of sadness. It's something like they always say grief is, if you've ever had a loved one pass on, that the grief is the opposite end of the love that you had for that person. The grief is just love expressed in a different way. And recognizing that grief is funny. It's a funny little emotion. It's not even emotion. I think it's honestly a portal of its own. But so is love. Love is also a portal of its own. You can love something so much, so wide, so far, so deep. And that grief that would come from losing that person, it would be as wide, as far, as deep. And just like love can expand and grow and continue. And this is why I'm going to say this, because I think it relates back to mother healing and mother wounds. Mothers can experience this profound, deep, wonderful love for their children. But their capacity to express that love for their children is where the limits start. That's where the limits come in. And that capacity to express love has to be expressed. And so when we're talking about healing and dealing with these mother wounds in these spaces, you're feeling, if you're the child of a mother that couldn't fully express her love for you, you're feeling the constriction of their capacity to love not only you, but themselves. Because this funny thing happens with trauma and wounds, and it's called projection. So your mother will look at you and just see themselves, and then they'll start to project all the things they don't like about themselves on you, or all the restrictions that they have for themselves onto you. Think about that. All the restrictions that they have for themselves are now placed on you because they're projecting their own self. This is me outside my body. That's what mothers feel. And so it's your job to put those projections somewhere else and not allow those projections to exist within your own house. Okay? Taking it back to those dreams. So homework wise, because y'all know I love homework. If you've ever worked with me, you will get homework. You will get homework, okay? But homework right now, if you don't have a dream journal, you need to get one. If you've had any dreams about rooms and you remember the rooms that you're in, write those down. Write down any feelings, thoughts, experiences that go with those rooms. anything you can think of. And for the next 30 days, and you know what? I'm going to do this with y'all because I've been slacking on my dream journal. For real. I've been slacking on my dream journal. I've not been writing in it as much as I need to be with all these dream messages I get for people. Go ahead and write down your dreams for the next 30 days. When you are going to sleep, get off your phone. Put your phone aside. You're going to sleep. Okay? If you have to sleep with a meditation or something or some music, get that going, get that started, and put your phone aside. Do not pick it up to scroll. Don't do any of that. And you're gonna have your dream journal beside your bed. If you wake up in the middle of the night with a dream, you're gonna write that down. You wake up in the morning, you're remembering a dream, you're gonna write that down. You're going to write down any colors you notice, any smells, if you smell things in your dreams, some people do, feelings in your dreams, and you're going to try to describe any rooms, situations, people, and feelings, sensations around those scenarios in your dream world. And you're going to report back, okay, about this assignment. If you want to write me an email, Toni@thetraumadoula.com. I would love to hear at the end of your 30 days. And I'm going to do another podcast update at the end of 30 days talking about this experience. And yeah, let's do it. Let's get into our dream world because it's going to help us open and grow and change. All right. Now, if you like this podcast and you want to support me, you want to support the work I do, obviously you can work with me with energy therapy, but I know everyone can't do that. So go ahead and go to my Substack. That is an email newsletter blog that allows writers and podcasters to receive like a small monthly subscription price. So it's like $5 a month or you can pay for the year as well. And that just helps keep this podcast going. I don't really do ads, and I just don't think it's gonna be my thing. I think we need one space where we don't have advertisements. And any link, if you want to work with me or you want to subscribe to my Substack and help a girl out, is in the description box below. Anyhow, I will see y'all next time. Thanks.